Alright, what's good everybody? This is Zave on the beat, and today's tutorial is all about sampling. There's a million ways to sample. I'll be showing you guys two basic techniques that I use when I sample a song. Basically how I sample that song and how I use that sample. Because a song can be used a million times over, but these two tips will help you sound unique and stand out from the next producer who may use that exact same song. So before we get into it, make sure you guys do subscribe. I'll be dropping videos and tutorials weekly. Make sure you like, share with your other producer friends, and if I go over anything too fast, just leave a comment below and I'll be sure to answer your questions in the comment section. So without further ado, let's get into it. The sample that I'll be using today, the song I'll be using today, is one that I came across. I was actually looking for the sample that was used in Big Sean's I Don't F With You, but I came across another song by the same exact name by accident. And at the very end, there's this orchestra section, and I'll play that for you guys right now. All right, boom, that's dope. So instead of just taking this, dragging this over here and looping this, adding drums to it, calling it good, that's lame. Basically, this will help you. What am I trying to say? This will help you stand out. This will make it sound unique, rather than just dragging a sample and looping it over and over. So from here, what I did, I took this, take the sample, hit control or right click edit, and it'll take you right into Edison. And from here, this is how you can kind of chop up your sample. So I'm going to, this is the ending. Yep, so that's the ending. I'm just gonna take this all out. Usually I would leave this and make a separate instance for this part, just to keep record of my samples that I use. But just for the sake of the video, I'm gonna take that out. So now we got this right here, and I'm gonna chop off the part where I want to start at. Let's see. So right here, when the lower string section comes in, and let me see. Yep. So, and what I do like to do, I like to use the notches in the waveform as kind of key points, so I'm not just like chopping anywhere. So it's not as abrupt, and it sounds a little cleaner when you chop the sample. So that's from a start, and let me take this emptiness out. And from here, I could just use this auto chop tool and hit that and call it good, and then just use those as my sample chops. But one, the song isn't a constant tempo, it's played live, so it's not going to be right on point. So what I'm going to do is put in my sample chops, my markers, manually using this tool right here. So boom, I'm gonna add one right at the beginning because that's going to be my first chop. And I'm going to play the beat, and as it's playing, I'll be hitting this button and adding in the sample or the markers where I see fit. So and I know I don't want this outro at all. It sounds dope, but I don't want that at all. So I'm gonna take this part out. Let me see. Yeah, so boom, take that out. Whoops, I don't think I did. All right. So from here, I'm gonna go back in, and now these are all mapped to my keyboard, and you'll see that later as well too. So I'm gonna go in and kind of move these slightly because it's not perfect how I did it. Move that over a little bit, and put this over here. That sounds good. and I'm kind of just eyeballing it and going kind of fast just for the sake of the video. And let me make sure this one's on point. All right, cool. So this is what I'm going to use, and from here I'm going to drag it into Fruity Slicer. Sometimes you can use Slice X. I like Fruity Slicer a little bit better just because, one, it's a little bit more simple. As you can see, it's just a little box, a little square. And two, I'll show you the reason I also like it. So basically I'm gonna drag this using that tool into here. We can drag it from here to there, same thing. And I'm gonna take this out because it's basically just playing it as it came. So exit that out. And this is where you kind of find your own wave, your own sauce right here, and add in, make your own pattern. And I kind of already have one in my head. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And as you can see, these are all mapped out on the keyboard now. So now you're just finding your own little and the one I'm gonna use, I think, let me see. All right, here we go. So that's the pattern I used, and for the sake of the video, I'll just copy and paste that in there because I already played it. But basically how I would do it, I would come into here, hit record. Let me make sure I'm on pattern mode. All right, hit record. All right, so since I already did that, that's how it would look. Delete that, come in here. All right, so this is what I was basically imitating, what I did earlier. From here, you could just take this loop, it's a dope little pattern, and add drums to it, loop it a bunch of times and call it good. But the second tip that I'll share with you guys is, instead of doing that, what I like to do is I duplicate the sample, use the same pattern, and instead of playing this over and over, because one, that's dope, but it could get repetitive, I like to change the pitch of both of these. So basically I'm gonna have I'm gonna raise the pitch up 1 octave and lower it another octave. So there's 12 notes on a keyboard, and so if I raise it up 6, I have to go down 12 from there. So if I raise it up 6, that means I have to go down to -6, because 6 minus 12 is -6. If I go up, let's just see how that sounds. And this one will be, and the reason we're going by 12 is because we want to keep it in the same key, just different octaves. So together it sounds like this. And as you can see, that already sounds a whole lot better. The sample is more full. It gives it a lower tone and a higher tone rather than just one tone. And you can basically play around with it. It just depends on the song that you use, because if the song is already kind of high pitched, you don't want to go too high. If it's already low pitched, you don't want to go too low. So I might take this one down just 1. So if I take this up from 0 to +5, that means I have to take this one all the way down to -7. Basically 5 minus 12 is -7. So let's see how that sounds. Yeah, those sound cool together. So boom, and that's basically how I use my samples. As you can use both of them throughout the hook, throughout the verses. You could use one for one verse, the lower one for the second verse, and just flip flop back and forth from them. So basically your song isn't repetitive. You're not just looping the same sample over and over and over. You have kind of three versions of the sample. You have both of them together, the low one, and at that point you can just add your own sauce, add your own drums, do whatever from there. Those are my tips on how I sample, how I make use of my samples. And I use FL Slicer. In any other program, you can use anything else. You just have to be able to chop it and then basically use these basically throughout on your keyboard. So I'll be playing the whole beat at the end of the video, which is now. If you guys like these tips, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you share with your other producer friends. Be sure to subscribe. I'll be dropping more videos weekly, and we're gonna do it like that.